Death can save you from me.
Stay a while and listen.
Good afternoon, my Diablo 2 brethren, and welcome back. Today we got Acts 3 and 4 Nightmare. Act 3 was pretty uneventful, so we burned through that pretty quick. Generally, things that would be left on the cutting room floor, I left in there for Act 4 just because I wanted to illustrate the amount of difficulty spike that I got. Act 4 is very, very challenging for me, so I wanted to show some of those struggles, which is why the runtime on this one's just a little bit longer. But all things considered, it was pretty successful. So let's go ahead and get in there. Alright, here we go. Let's look for our tome. Judging by the bum rush, this is probably it. Yep, indeed. Look at them all come. Had trouble with these in normal. Just because I got bum rush like that, but held them off pretty good there. Pretty easy pickings. Alright, here we go with Trav. Hydra versus Hydra. This is where we test out if we're really up to the challenge or not. Pretty good fire res on my part, so as long as I'm not swarmed, should be able to take them down one after another. They're all the weaker council ones, except for Gilib. Gulzar's kind of just screwing around. Wasn't any real danger, but my Merc dying. And he's got amp damage on him. Best if I just not let him die. I said, get these guys one-on-one and they're toast anyways. Amp damage on Gulzar, though, is pretty wicked. Let's see.
The temple's power is annulled.
Alright, here we are, Endurance 3. So a couple things to keep in mind here. I'm looking for kill speed and danger. Obviously, I have plenty of levels I need to get before I go into hell anyways. I'm only at 63, so I'm still farming levels. I will play through here a few times if I need to, just to gain levels. Ultimately, what I'm looking for is how efficient it is. Obviously, Mephisto in Nightmare is primo farming spots. I would like to find some better gear for my Merc. I'm also on the lookout for some mage fists, and maybe a little bit better jewelry if I can find it. Not really in the market for chest armor. I mean, obviously it's fine. I like this, and it's going to be tough to beat the all res. So I don't know if and when I'll replace this, but I already have a different piece of headgear too for another lore. And then I'm just holding out on shield for Spirit Monarch when I get into hell. But I could benefit from more skills on the amulet and maybe a little bit more resistances on the rings. And then I got Ethereal boots here, so these are fine, but ultimately if I find something a little bit better. So gonna farm Mephisto for a while, until I get at least one thing. But I need to see if I have to turn it down to P1, for example. I really don't want to. I want to keep the P8 for the levels and the drop tables. So we're gonna have to see how things go here. I might switch to not killing council. Obviously, this is gonna be the slowest part of this, especially if they're gonna kill my merc. At least I know if I do a lower P level, that's not gonna happen. If Mephisto goes down easily, I'll probably just teleport in there and kill him and not worry about the council so much. Seemed like that was the bulk of them right there. Onesie twosie, they're never too bad. I can manage that. We get for quest drop here. I dropped a lower res on him. Doesn't seem like it's doing much. About a lower res 1 just for preparing for hell. Light belt, plated belt, ring, so probably razor tail, Saigons, and angelic. Nothing that great if you ask me. Alright, there's Iswal. Usually he's only a problem if he spawns in the middle of a bunch of elites or something like that. This here should be a simple matter of whittling him down with static. Should be easy pickings. Done. Alright, here's the armor. These Erdars here are just the stragglers that were left over, so armor spawned with 2 unique Erdars next to him. One of which was cursed and spamming amp damage. That's pretty nasty stuff. Yeah, overall probably about 20 Erdars just swarming me. It was nasty. Thankfully none of these guys have elementals where that conviction's gonna hurt. That was tough. That was really tough. See if it was all worth it. IO. I'll take it. I found a lum from a trash mob about 10 minutes ago, so feeling pretty good about my rune development so far. Alright, I'm ready to do Diablo here. I spent the last like 45 minutes in Chaos Sanctuary here. I cleared everything out so that I didn't get run into other guys when I was kiting and running from things. Chaos Sanctuary has definitely been the hardest level to date so far. It has been absolutely brutal. With the knights running around, I was not able to tank them effectively with them continuously spamming amp damage and lower resist. I couldn't have Gulzar tank. He was just not surviving, so I was doing a lot of teleporting away which of course every time I teleport away, then it was making my hydras less effective because I would teleport away, throw my frozen orb, try to get some hydras down, and then I'm running and running and running. It literally took me 45 minutes to clear the entire sanctuary. So I think this first group's going to be okay, but the Lord DeSace's group is going to be absolutely brutal if I can't kill them fast enough, especially if they have fanaticism. I'm going to have to try and hide around a corner or something to keep Gulzar alive, just because they hit too hard and the curses are brutal. And then we'll see about the final wave. This group here, though, should be pretty easily. I found myself using static on just about everything I could. Even some of those nights when I was spamming my lower resist, even that was not doing too much. They have such ridiculously high health pools because of the P8, and then some of them are so strong against fire. They have a very high fire res. That's been causing me problems too, forcing me to use static and lower resistance just to whittle them down. Not to mention constantly running away. Obviously, one-on-one, I'm able to take them without any fuss at all, but get a pack of 3 or more, and it's been difficult to handle. Haven't died, but Gulzar died a couple of times, but I've been largely safe. So there's fanaticism, and around the corner there. Yep, I didn't even get a chance to teleport away. That's how quickly he died. He doesn't have the greatest of gear, mind you. But like that one, I knew he was getting attacked, and I tried to teleport away, and even that wasn't enough. And I gotta be better about that. I could have ultimately turned down the difficulty to P1. I ultimately went against it because I wanted to work on my practice for getting into hell. So I wanted to work on my kiting a little bit. I also wanted to work on my transitions to and from my switch to deal with fire immunes by using my lower resist. So I wanted to get in the habit of doing that and making that easy transition. See, like this guy here is not taking any damage hardly. So hit him with the lower res. That's been mostly working. But yeah, really been working on stick and move. Thing about Gulzar is he's fearless, but he's got 0 discretion. Terrible time to run out of mana when you're trying to teleport away. Alright, almost there. Said one-on-one, it's not a problem. Shit. All it took was 2-on-1. Couple of stragglers here. That's precisely why I cleared all of Chaos. I guess I missed that one aisle. Run away from one guy's into another. So out of the frying pan into the fire. went about how I expected it to. Said Gulzar is fearless, but he just can't take it.
Thanks.
Not enough mana.
Thanks.
Okay, so Diablo, he is going to kill Gulzar. Nothing I can do about that. I'm hoping I can just get in there and static him down and not die to Diablo's attacks. I'm gonna get some rejuves and such here. And I'm hoping that I can just kind of run around and spam some hydras.
I need mana. Not enough mana.
So far, so good.
I need mana.
I can't tell if I got him all the way down as far as making sure static was as good as it goes. Alright, I'm gonna try and hit him with lower res. I got him.
Not enough mana. Not enough mana.
Gulzar makes his last stand.
I need mana.
Ah, they died at the same time. Son of a bitch. Well, that's what makes bosses easier, is at least there's only one of them. And I really wanted him to survive. The Jade Tando Chris, Mage Plate. What else? War Belt, I'll probably take that. Alright, anyways, as I was saying, I didn't drop out of P8 because I wanted to practice for Hell. I felt like the transition would be a lot more natural if I go from very hard to maybe a little bit easier. I wanted to make sure that I could handle long, drawn-out fights with guys that I couldn't kill. So these instances with these guys with a massive health pool and high fire resistance is the same as really fire immunes in Hell, which I need to come to terms with. So when I get swarmed by mobs with elites and/or super elites, I want to be able to be prepared for that. And so this little exercise helped. It also gave me a little bit of preview of probably what Throne Room's going to be like. Running by myself here in P8 Bale runs is probably going to be pretty tough, if not impossible. Fortunately, because I've been playing P8 the whole time, I'm at level 67. I might be able to slowly transition into Hell in general. Without too much fuss. It's a little bit early as far as level, but I'm expecting to gain quite a few in in just Act 5. So hopefully things keep pace well. There was not much level gained at all in Act 4. I was really hit hard by the XP penalty. Really only gained 1 level. So in all of Act 4, it was pretty tough. I mostly sped through it because the XP gains were just no longer there. I'm hoping that they ramp back up again in Act 5, and then I can milk that out a little bit before I switch over to Hell. I would like to get to about minimum of 72 or 73 when I go into Hell. Fortunately, my levels aren't really impacting too much anymore because I don't have many more skills to work on. All I'd be doing at this point here is bolstering my fire mastery at this point. And then if I ended up with any points left over, I could put those elsewhere into the cold tree or something like that. But we're going to be stuck with one frozen orb for a while. That was the end of Act 4, though. It was a real challenge. I'm looking forward to wrapping up Act 5 in the final session. So stick around. We'll catch you next time. And Taro Adun.